Welcome to this first edition of the 2017 Eye of the Storm. I'm Jeff Lanham, Athletic Director at University of Rio Grande, and usually I have Randy Payton as my director today. He couldn't be with us. He is leaving with the women's team. They're on their way to Kokomo, Indiana. They play there tomorrow evening, and I'm manning the fort today. So before we get started, I want to do a little recap of kind of some events that have happened in the past since our last show that I want to bring to everybody's attention. In December, we had our men's soccer team who finished the season at 22-2-2. They were the NAIA national runner-up. They were beat in the championship game by Hastings College, 1-0. This was 1 versus 2. Hastings came into the tournament as number 1 seed. Rio was the number 2 seed. If all things were right, you got it right, because you want 1 versus 2 in the championship game. That took place in Delray Beach, Florida. So it was a disappointment in that they wanted to, be, of course, national champions, but a very successful year. And Coach Morrissey and all the coaching staff and the players had a fantastic run. It is their second runner-up. So they were national champions in 2003, 2015. They were runner-up in 2008. And runner-up in 2016. So congratulations to a fantastic year, and look forward to 2017, see what we can do with that. Now also, we had some exciting stuff happen last night in Line Center. Our men and women's basketball team played Asbury. Very good team who's in second place in the other division that were the 2 divisions of men's and women's basketball, and both won. Good wins by both teams. The significant part of this is the women's victory was head coach David Smalley's 500th victory coaching here at Rio Grande, which is a milestone in itself. He's been here 25 years. So you can quickly do the math to that he's averaging over 20 wins a year during his time. With that victory and making that number 500, he is in 4th place in all-time active coaches in the NAIA, which again is a fantastic accomplishment. Our congratulations go out to Coach Smalley. We're actually on February the 7th, we're going to have a celebration, and want to invite everybody to come to that game. We play IU East that night, and a lot of things going on. We'll get to that a little bit later regarding that night and what's going on, in addition to the celebration of Coach Smalley reaching a milestone. So it was a good evening. Now, we also had another accomplishment. A few weeks ago, we had Brooke Markham reached her 1,000th point of her career. You can see the picture there of Brooke. Brooke is a local gal from Vinton, Ohio, and she reached her 1,000th point. Last night, Brooke reached her 1,000th rebound. And with that, she is only one of 2 other female athletes at the University of Rio Grande to reach this. We had Akia Fountain had 1,196 rebounds, and Carly Moeller had 1,110 rebounds. So that, again, is another huge accomplishment by Brooke, and it's just fantastic to see local product to have success, and it's really, she has really worked hard and just made a tremendous, her tremendous effort that she's had, and it shows in these records that she holds. So, pretty good day as I was texting President Johnston last night. She's at a conference in Seattle, and she was back and forth wishing she was here, and I made the comment what a great day it was at Rio. And on top of that, I received, and as an athletic director, I've received phone calls and emails from all over the place. Many times when I get that email, it has where it's from, and sometimes I have that feeling of, oh my goodness, what's taking place here? Well, I got an email from a gentleman in Winston-Salem, North Carolina, and it was the meet director of JDL Fast Track in Winston-Salem. This is where our indoor track and field team competed last weekend. And he starts off by wanting to commend our athletes. That's a great sentence to start with. He had, as you run a meet, you've got a number of volunteers that have to be there to help you. And I know that we've run events here on our campus, and we need those people in order to make it run. Well, he had something happen during the meet halfway through, and he lost a handful of volunteers. He goes to Coach Willie, asked Coach Willie if they had anybody that could help. Coach Willie found some athletes, and they sacrificed their day and went and helped the meet. We had Tiana Petty, Cameron Carpenter, Adam Champer, Zach Collins, and Ethan Greenewalt, who all five now will receive our Certificate of Champions of Character. We're going to present that to them on Monday at their team meeting, and just want to say congratulations to them. One of the last comments that Mr. Bear said, who was the director of the meet, he said, I used to be a coach, and it's fantastic to see those kind of student athletes out there. These are who I would want on my team. So congratulations to track and field for representing Rio Grande and being that stand-up men and women that we want to produce, want to be a part of. So with that, we'd like to move on. We've got two people that we're interviewing today, both via satellite, as it may be. Randy did the interviews a little bit earlier, and we're going to move on first to Brad Warnimont with our baseball team. So take it away. Let's do baseball.
And we welcome you back. Randy Payton here, now joined by Rio head baseball coach Brad Warnimont. You guys getting ready to get the 2017 season underway, and I know after you sit through the long off season, you get a little itchy to get the new season started, and it's right around the corner.
Yeah, we the biggest thing we have to deal with is the Ohio weather. So whether we can get inside and outside, we haven't obviously been on our field yet. We were able to inter-squad scrimmage on the practice field last weekend, which the weather broke. It was a little soggy, and knock on wood, no one got injured due to the wet playing surface. But that's all part of the game. I mean, early in the year is the weather predicates what you can do and when you can do it. And today we'll be back on the gym floor.
39-25 last year, a second consecutive conference championship. You guys, at least over the last couple of years, have this thing on a little bit of a roll.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is what we do and how we do it, and we're trying to impress on our kids that it's the brand. And I'm going to brag on them a little bit. We had our best semester ever in the classroom. 3.28 as a team, which we had 3 kids get 4.0s. We had 29 players above a 3-point, which is outstanding, and that's part of it. When a coach, you don't have to babysit your kids going to class and doing the right things. I think that all goes into what brand we're trying to create. Do it, and do it the right way, and do it to the best of your ability. Don't just do it to do it. I mean, we want to do it at max effort. We want to do it to the best of your ability and every day, and that's part of it. And with that comes with that is aggressive play and running the bases aggressively and running the bases the right way. You know, that's another thing to be said is going first or third, taking the extra base, doing those little things right, and I think that all goes hand in hand.
You lost some key contributors to last year's team to graduation, but when you look down the list, there's an awful lot to build around here in 2017.
Yeah, well, if you look at statistics, we lost 150 RBIs out of the middle of the lineup, 3, 4, and 5. But when you have some kids that were juniors that are now seniors, I think you just move them from one spot in the batting order to the next, and that's what we've done. You know, and staying healthy is always a concern, and making sure that you have the amount of depth. But right now we've got some kids that are really competing at positions pretty hotly, and we've had a pretty good fall, and they're challenging each other. And, you know, that's you know, hopefully what's going to make us competitive, you know, throughout this year is the fact that, you know, you got to win your job here first before you can, you know, get out within the conference. So hopefully that'll make us a better club, and we're much deeper on the mound, which I'm very pleased with. And, you know, hopefully we can get those guys to be very competitive and step up for us on the mound.
Kind of break it down a little bit in terms of personnel. I know obviously the guy you build around, maybe first and foremost on the mound and in the lineups, Darian Lewis.
Yeah, Darian, and being intelligent about what we do with him, and Darian's never going to fall short as far as competitive nature goes with us. Once he toes the rubber, doesn't matter how many pitches he throws, he's going to want to keep the ball in his hand and control the outcome when he's on the rubber. And you know, early in the year, we just want to be intelligent about that and try to keep his pitch count down. We've even toyed with, if we can get to the point where the 5th and 6th arm are really pushing Darian, and maybe use him as a closer just to sort of decrease the amount of innings on his arm early in the year. And in 2015, we did that with him. If you remember, I mean, he didn't really emerge as a starter until conference season. We used him as a closer, a reliever, and primarily a position player. So, I mean, I don't want to recreate the wheel, though, either. I mean, I've got one of my better competitors, and if he never gets into a closed situation, he's probably going to be fighting me in the dugout before the day's over. So, I mean, he's definitely going to start for us, and we just need to be very intelligent about how we use him and what we do, and we know he's going to compete for us and bulldog. And you know, the pitching staff should be much deeper than last year. Trent Downs is back as a senior as well. Zach Harvey, who led the conference in strikeouts, is back as a freshman. Last year he did, so he's a sophomore this year, and he's put on another 10 pounds, a good weight, and we're hoping that equates to that velocity and is going to be a little better than what it was last year. And we added Osvaldo Duran, a junior college transfer that's a junior that will possess an upper 80s, touching 90 fastball with a plus slider. So adding that to what we had, you know, should make us very competitive. And we have some underclassmen that we need to bring along in the right way and build their confidence and put them in situations where they can be successful, and then sort of turn them loose and see what they can actually do. So, but we got to put those kids in a situation where they're going to be successful in the right confidence-building situations and sort of, you know, feed the giant, so to say. I mean, if King Kong wasn't always King Kong, he had to fight his way through the jungle. So, you know, we want to give them bouts that they can be successful with and build their confidence. And but we're very pleased that we're much deeper there, and you know, that should bode well for us.
You got to have big seasons, or at least I think you do, out of guys like Carlos Flores and Luis Jimenez and Dylan Shockley.
Yeah, those guys, you know, you got to be strong up the middle. And Luis, obviously his athleticism and anchoring the infield, and Dylan Shockley, we just got to keep Dylan healthy and make sure that We're doing things the right way with him as well, and that catching depth could come into play. And, obviously Carlos. And Carlos hitting 10 home runs last year, he's going to be one of those guys that has been moved down in the lineup. So he had a good summer. Him and Luis both had great summers, along with Dylan. Played very competitively in Wooden Bat League. So we're hoping that exposure from that they've seen upper 80s and 90-mile-an-hour fastballs. So that shouldn't phase them at all, seeing it on a weekend basis. So, hopefully that'll be a springboard to what we need to do. It's just a matter of, how that goes, is getting out of the chute. And, I always tell these guys, and you experience, but there's a carryover from a season to a season, from your fall season to your spring, from last year's season to this year's fall. And I think we saw that in the intensity level that we played with some of our outside competition in our scrimmage games in the fall. We played at a pretty high level, so fairly encouraged. So it's just, what you go through some of the time with that is the complacency. There's got to be that burning desire and drive to get better every single day. You're never good enough. I mean, that's, even if you're a senior, you're never good enough. And that's stagnant, and, we got to stay away from that.
Before I let you go, kind of handicap the conference, if you will. I think the conference is going to be vastly underrated on a national scale. Guys or teams like Rio, Indiana Southeast, you've got West Virginia Tech, you got Point Park, and all of a sudden Midway's got a team now that, a program absorbed from a pretty good St. Catherine College team.
Yeah, I mean, I think in our opportunity to prove our worth, I think people are going to start to see that the River States is a much deeper conference than what people normally give us credit for. And it's still in a growing phase, but I think it's all positive growth. I mean, West Virginia Tech had 40 wins last year. We had two programs in the conference had 40 wins, and we weren't one of them. We had 39. So, I mean, I think that bodes well. The level of play and playing against some quality competition early in the year, I think is now we got to beat those people to be able to put our conference on the map. But, obviously IU Southeast is in preseason poll at 22, and we received some votes. But, that's going to be an ongoing proving grounds for us as a conference. And, like you said, adding Midway. I mean, Luther Bramblett does a great job, and he built a fantastic program at St. Catherine. And, and then the school shuts the door. So, I mean, there's not going to be any surprises. I talked to Luther at the convention, and he brought in 6 arms at the break, which doesn't surprise me. Doesn't surprise me at all that he's going to go out there and beat the bushes and do a great job recruiting. So we just have to try to stay one step ahead.
Well, the season gets underway. It's right around the corner. I think, the 2nd of February?
Yeah, we'll open up the 3rd. Well, the 3rd down in Bryan. We'll take off on the 2nd. But and that's against a nationally recognized program in Bryan, and they felt that, they were snubbed last year in the national tournament. A hair under 40 wins and finished 2nd in a pretty prestigious league in the Appalachian Athletic Conference. So they might have an axe to grind, so to say. So
good luck this season.
Thank you.
That's head coach Brad Warnimont from Rio Grande Baseball here on Eye of the Storm.
Thank you, Coach Warnimont and Randy. Lots of great information there, and we look forward to getting out some sunshiny days to see some baseball being played this spring. So next, Randy also was able to sit down with Chris Hammond, who is at 2nd year, our head softball coach. And let's go to his interview.
And we welcome you back. It's Randy Payton, the Sports Information Director here at the University of Rio Grande. We're joined now by Rio head softball coach Chris Hammond. You guys 41-9 last year, a trip to the national tournament. Your first year as a head coach. I guess we ought to back up a little bit and say, was it every bit of what you thought it might be?
That and even more. It was a great season. The girls worked hard throughout the year, and we got a lot of those returning pieces back for the 2017 campaign.
You look coming from the high school level, when you throw in the recruiting and the scheduling and the worries about travel and hotels, it's a completely different beast, isn't it?
Oh, most certainly. There's never definitely a dull moment. You're constantly busy and trying to plan, and then you throw in all your practice schedules, and I got a great staff, so our 2 assistant coaches do a great job and assisting with me and all that stuff. So I'm fortunate to have them.
You win the regular season championship last year. You win the conference tournament championship. And as I said, national tournament for the 2nd straight year. And a lot of those same faces that got that job done are back here in 2017. Was there a sense of pressure on this team to try to repeat or three-peat, I guess?
I don't think so. I mean, I think the girls know the expectations, and I think, they've laid the standard of the level that we need to play at. And the one thing that we've kept stressing at practice is, last year was, we had a lot of great memories last year, but the one memory I don't want them to forget is the memory of losing down at Alabama, and I want them to keep that in my, their mind, and throughout practice and everything, it's something that we've really reinforced, and hopefully it's driving them to take the goal farther.
I don't know that you had anybody that what you would say lit it up offensively last year. You got kids that got the job done, but your pitching was out of the world.
Well, first of all, it starts with Jenna Jones. She's a pitcher and a smart pitcher. Knows how to get hitters out. And then Kelsey, you got Kelsey Conkey. It's a flamethrower, and I felt like as the year went on, she got better mentally in the circle. And then we got a deep staff with Tiffany Bice, and then Mallory Powell, and we had Casey Jenkins in this year, and so I think you got a combination of a variety of different types of pitchers.
You do lose players like Ariel Roeder and Kim Rollins and a couple of others to graduation, but for the most part, like I said, you've got a fairly loaded gun to go into this season.
Well, again, it's hard to replace seniors that you lose. But we've got 9 seniors this year, and the leadership that they provide for this team, and they've been through a lot of battles together. So. Right now, I believe that the leadership on this team is at a high, and they've been battle proven, and they know what it takes to succeed.
Even with all of the players that you have back, I think they have to realize that, like I said, yes, they got the job done to a degree last year, but you got to try to turn it up a little bit offensively this year, don't you?
Oh, most certainly. I mean, we want to be a better hitting ball club than we were last year. We averaged 6 runs a game last year, which is not bad, but I think we got to find more consistency, and I think that was part of our issue last year, was finding consistency, and it seems like even games that we'd win 6-7-0, it was like we'd have one big inning and then we just kind of hit cruise control, and so I think a lot of it comes into confidence. We got to be more confident in the batter's box and be aggressive. I like to see us more aggressive. This fall, I thought we were a little too selective in up there at the plate. So, and that's another thing that we've been stressing with our girls in the cages and stuff of being aggressive.
You got a new face or two to add to the lineup this year, and I know you're really hyped about Michaela Kreiner.
Well, I saw Michaela 2 years ago in the in district tournament, and I knew her high school head coach, and I know he really bragged about her, and I got a chance to see her, and actually when I was first hired, 2 minutes on the phone, I was calling the high school coach, and we're fortunate to have her here at Rio Grande. She she's got some shoes to fill. I mean, in that shortstop spot. I mean, not saying that Shy's not going to be playing short some, but we've moved Shy behind to catch her behind the plate, and that gives us a little bit more depth at the catching spot. And Michaela had a very good fall, not only in the field but with the bat as well.
The league in itself, the River States Conference, trying to, get an identity on a national level. You guys are helping to do that. You're 24th in the preseason national poll. You're picked to win the league, but nonetheless, there's some good teams in the conference.
Well, there is, and I thought we were very underrated last year. I think that IU Southeast is a very good program. Coach Witten does a great job, and those girls are going to be prepared, and they're fundamentally sound. And they've added some pitching this year that'll make them definitely a tough team in our conference. And then you put in West Virginia Tech and Point Park there, and Carlo is a scrappy team. And you saw what they did in the conference tournament, and they can get on a run. And then Cincinnati Christian, kind of an unknown right now. Coach Gardner's building a program there, and I definitely know he'll get the most out of his girls. And then Midway, with the addition of some of the St. Catherine girls, they won't be in the bottom of the basement this year.
You've done your best too to try to upgrade the schedule on a non-conference level.
Well, yeah. 4 out of our first 5 weekends we're playing ranked teams. So, our goal is to play those teams and prepare us, for the conference run and then, hopefully a postseason run.
Well, we wish you the best of luck. Got a hard act to follow after the success you had in year 1, but it gets started very soon, and good luck here in 2017.
Well, I appreciate it. Thank you.
That's head coach Chris Hammond of the University of Rio Grande softball program, and we'll go back to the studio to Jeff.
Thank you, Randy, and thank you, Coach Hammond. And before we wrap things up here, I just want to mention a special date that we have coming up. I mentioned earlier about February the 7th. It's a Tuesday evening. Men's and women's basketball play IU East. Big game on both their schedules. Both are top 20 ranked teams. But on that night, we are having our annual Faculty Staff Appreciation. This will be the 9th year that we've done this, and what we do is each senior on all of our programs selects an individual that they feel has been responsible or at least has helped them in their pathway to graduation and to finish their careers here at Rio Grande. We do this right immediately after the women's game. We don't know exactly what that time will be. The women's game starts at 6, so it's going to be around a 7:20, 7:30 start time. And there'll be a number of faculty, staff there, the honorees. We just want everybody to be aware of that, to come out and support our seniors, support the honorees who are going to be there representing. And we just want to send that out to invite everyone to come. So with that, I'm going to wrap this up. And thanks to Randy, thanks to Coach Warnimont, thanks to Coach Hammond, and we'll see you again in about a month on Eye of the Storm.